All right. So again, you work with content value objects, and these content value objects, in a way at least, they're kind of like intents in that they are a key value pair. All right. If you want more stuff about that, I provided some URLs in here. Okay. And a lot of them are just developer.android.com. So we create a brand new content values, and then what are we doing here? We want to insert a new record. All right. So the idea is, what we're saying is, we want to be able to go and grab what we put in there for our product name into that edit text, and that's going to become this column. What we put in for the quantity, and that'll become this column. Now, the actual work for making sure there's something in there and for validating it, etc., that's not done in there. That's done in activity main. But notice where we're using the get. This is right from that class that we created. Both of these are. All right. And when you do this stuff, you got your choice. You can call a get writable database, or you can call a get readable database. A get readable database would be used if all we wanted to do was a select statement. So again, a get readable would be read only. If you want to do any other CRUD operations, you want to do a create or insert, an update or a delete, then you want to do a get writable. All right. And then we come in here and we actually put that string in. The weird one that's in here is this thing that's called null column hack. All right. And it says it provides the name of a nullable column name to explicitly insert null info or null into a case where your values are empty. So if you left everything blank, then by default, all that would happen would be you'd get a new record, but all it would have in it, it would not have anything for the product name. It would not have anything for the quantity. So if you do fill this up, we could have, for example, we could have said, hey, if you don't put anything else in, still go in and create a quantity field and put 0 in it, for example. All right. And then finally, when you're all done, you close the connection. You'll notice that's DB. All right. And that literally is the way we refer to the database in here, typically. All right. So the next one is find product. You'll notice that in this case, all right, what are we doing? Well, let's look at the comment here. It queries the database. All right. And as it says, the select statement will be constructed to find all matching records in the table. Technically, we wouldn't have even needed a writable here. We could have used a readable because we're not changing anything. But notice what we have here. All right. Select star from the product table where the product name is whatever we put in there. So this product name that's right here is what we ended up putting in to the associated edit text. All right. We set up our instance of an Sqlite database called, again, DB. And again, I believe this one would have worked just fine with a readable. But you'll notice, again, we get that cursor. All right. Now, the way that this is set up, if I had two products that had the same name, maybe I've got a bunch of different types of hammers, but I just put 2 or 3 in as hammer. All right. It'll go through and it'll find all of them. But by default, the way this is written is what we're saying is, hey, we're going to create a brand new product object so we can display it on the screen. And if this is true, there's got to be at least one record that met the criteria of the select. So if that's the case, move to the first instance that you find. Then when you go in there, grab the ID of that one and copy it into the product. We are creating a new product here, but we're not saving it. This is just to display that product on screen. I'm going to run it in a minute and you'll see what I mean. So again, if we put hammer in here, and let's say there was a hammer, it'll automatically go and find that hammer record it'll put in the associated ID. It'll already have the product name in there. It'll put in the quantity. All right. Just like you should close databases when you're done using a cursor, you should close it as well. Now, if nothing matched, so if I put hello in there and I don't have a product named hello, product will just be equal to null. So basically the thing will just be blank. All right. And then again, finally, when you're done, you close the connection. Lastly, what's in here, I think this is the last one. Yep. And that is to delete a product. All right. And it's not that different from what you just saw. All right. The idea is we're just deleting a single product at a time. And it's whatever one you put in for the product name. So if you put that in and you know, if it was a valid product and then you click delete on that, it's going to remove that record. And again, not that different from what we just looked at. Again, this one we would need to get writable for. We are again creating a query. So whenever you run this raw query, you end up creating a cursor object, which basically is a pointer to the results that you get back from your query. All right, so again, create a new product object, okay, and move to it. Basically what we're saying here is just run the delete command. And you'll notice this one is a parameterized query because it says find the one. Basically, we're not specifying the ID. We're specifying the product name that we want deleted. And we're telling the system, you go look up the ID. All right, and it does that for us. Just the same kind of thing that you've seen before. If I've got 10 records and I remove record 7 and I put a new record in, it'll be 11. 7 is gone. All right, so that's that one. And then let's look at the main activity, which is the only thing we haven't discussed at all. Some of it'll look familiar. You know, again, that there's our interface, plus I set up a toast. In on create, we set this stuff up. None of that's new. All right. But in here, okay, this is the code that we want to have run. All right. When we click that new product button, I didn't put it in as a listener, it's just put in here. But notice what I've done. This was not in the example that they gave, but I added some stuff, you know, because with theirs, technically the program could hang if you put no product in there at all and you just click the button to enter. So I said if it was empty, give a toast that says no product name. And that one's not that important, but the quantity is important because if that's empty, it's going to bring up a toast that says, again, that there's no quantity that's been inputted, etc. All right. Also, then I said, if you got down to this point, again, this stuff that's in here, I put all this in. It said that if we get down this far, there had to have been something. And since I set it up as a number edit text, there had to be a number in there. But I have no guarantee that it's a positive number. So I also checked for a negative value in here. And if it's negative, I just gave a toast and said it must be positive. Cleared out the text box and set the focus. All right. So if we get down this far, as it says, then the product name is not empty. The product quantity is positive. So now we can go in and create a brand new product object. So we have to create, it does the get text there. All right. So in other words, it is grabbing whatever we put in there. And we've already taken quantity and we've taken the integer value that we all now know is positive. So that's how we're going to create, all right, our new product. So then we call the add product, dbhandler.add product, which again is back in what we just looked at in here. All right. And I tried it a bunch of times and it worked. So I just put in a toast that said record successfully added. And then you might want to add another one. So I just cleared everything out. All right. The lookup is just, again, a simple select. And you can kind of go through it. It's not that different from what we just looked at. But we're telling it to do find product based on the product name that we entered. And calling those things product box and quantity box, That's what they called them in the handout, so I just kept the same names. If there wasn't a match, I just made sure everything was blanked out, and I put in a toast that said no, nothing, no record found meeting the criteria. Finally, the last one in here, the remove product. Again, you notice that we're calling delete product. All right, so if you find it, what are we doing? Well, all we're doing, we're doing the work to actually delete it in the other routine. So we come in here and we say just set everything to blank and say that it was deleted. If we've got a problem in here, we say there was an error deleting the record and we just let them know. So let's run it just so you can see it in action, so to speak. And since it is a database program, there is already stuff in there. All right. It's loading, so this isn't mine. This is one of yours. I don't know whose it is, but. So there it is. So I come in here and I put in, I don't know, baseball cap. And we have 100 of those. So you'll notice then when I click add record, record successfully added, this stuff all blanks out. If I come in here, and I think it just said baseball cap. And if I come in and choose find record, you can see that it fills up that information for me. All right. And I can do a delete record, and now the record's gone. Okay. Now, just a couple more things. I'll try to keep it real short. First of all, you may or may not have noticed this. There's a thing over here you probably have never seen before because you've never had to look at it. All right. And the way you get to this is called a tool window. So if I close this, no, it's not letting me. But if I go to view, and over here I go to tool windows, there is a window over here that's called Device File Explorer. So if you do a view, tool windows, Device File Explorer, this is what you get. Why am I showing you that? Because there is a folder under here that's called data, and there is a folder under there that is called data, and under there, there's a boatload of folders in here, but one of the folders that is in here has got com.example.sqlite project 01. All right. This didn't seem to work very well when I tried to, you have to literally dig through to find it. All right. And I've already copied it over, but just, I think at least I've got it on the desktop. But once you find it, all right, what you're going to find in there, let's see if I can find it. Like I said, you got to look for a while, and I did this before. These eyes aren't nearly as good as they used to be, but there should be something that's down and in here that says 420 on it. And every time I've done it before, it's been down near the bottom, but I don't see it. All right. The point is, let's just assume that it was right here. All right. Then I can click there, and there will be a folder in there that's got the database in it. And then you can right mouse click on it and save it anywhere you want to save it. All right. Then after you've done that, and I got to find it, so I wanted to show you this as a class. Okay, don't need. You can download this product. All right, it's called DB Browser for SQLite. Okay, so if I run this and you just walk through the steps, accept everything, next. Yeah, I do whatever. I'm just going to keep all the defaults. And as far as I remember, it's literally just a couple seconds to do the install. So now I'll probably be made a liar of. But I remember when I did this last year, it didn't take very long. If you do this, this is the interface. This is the interface that you'll get on screen to the actual database itself. And it is, if you want to download it, it's under http://sqlitebrowser.org. Now I'm done. All right, so I'm going to take this, try to take everything I have here, and I'm going to have to change my share so you can see it. But I'm going to try this at least. Let's see. Let's see if I change this, if it'll work. Of course not. Now let's see. There it is, DB browser for SQLite. No, I don't want that. I've already run it. There's supposed to be on my screen now, there is supposed to be an icon that'll allow me to run this. For whatever reason, it didn't show up. But the bottom line is you can open it up from in here. You can even, if you want to, you can even go write the database first and then throw it into your program. But it's a lot more work than doing it the other way. All right. So that isn't a lot, but it's what I had for you. And again, the rest of the week will be lab. I will be here at the beginning of the period, as I have been, to just ask if there's any questions. And if there aren't any, just turning you loose. Remember, Wednesday, part 2 of your project is due. And for part 2, even if it's not very much, even if it's just a few screens, and you put some text views on those screens, some multi-line text views that say, on this screen I'm going to do this, on this screen I'm going to do this. All right, that's what I'm looking for. All right, and by Wednesday I will have part 3, which is basically going to say, other than a little bit of final cleanup, I want your projects turned in next Friday. You may still make some superficial changes on them between then and the next week, but that's it. Plus, I want to make sure you've got enough time where you can actually go in and work on your electronic portfolios as well. All right. And if you have not yet turned in the Recycler View projects, please turn them in as soon as possible. Very few people have turned those in. That's why if you have turned yours in and you get a message from me that says, could you please give me another invite? I try to grade them all as a group, or as best I can as a group. I know a couple of you turned me in things Friday or Saturday, and I'm going to try to get to those today. We're going a little further than you guys went last year. I'm going to show you this. Maybe you don't care, but I was just going to show it to you anyway. And I'll make it fast, believe me. Let's see. What is it? All right, I'll show you this real quick, and then we'll be done for the period. Last semester, we did some of this stuff. This semester, we're trying to build a complete relational database management system. We have 5 tables in it. And here we can go in and insert a customer or update a customer or delete a customer. All right. And we can do the same thing for orders. You notice how much they all look alike. That's on purpose. We can do the same thing for order items or order details, the same thing for categories, and the same thing for products. This has been a really interesting time, creating this. And today I thought, well, I know what I'm doing. I've got the one I did with you guys last year, and I fell flat on my face. I ended up having to redo a lot of stuff right in front of them. All right. But so for the rest of the week, it'll be lab. A week from today, I'm going to grab one of the apps that I've created and I'm going to upload it to the Play Store. And again, I will tape that as I'm taping all of these. All right. Then the rest of next week will also be lab. The last week of the semester, the last 3 days. So we're talking about after today, there's only 12 days. 4 this week, 5 next week, 3 the last week. But that last week again is just for you to finish this stuff up and to work on your portfolios. I am hoping I've got an email in to the people from Zoom asking them, explaining to them what I'd like to do as far as having all of you show your projects, because I haven't seen anything like that. But I've asked them about it, and I'm hoping they get back to me and we can set something up where each of you will be able to generate your own Zoom URL, and you'll be able to actually have a little session where you will be able to bring up your portfolio and your final project and show it to everybody else. Other than that, if there are no questions, I will see you tomorrow to see if there's any questions. Talk to you then. Thank you.